Today on the Morning Edition, a gathering on Wednesday honored the life of Kelly Hunt, gone too soon, taken from friends and family. We'll bring you the vigil and share how they're honoring her. Plus, two brothers, both violinists, and both, as you just heard, very talented, are heading to a very special stage. We'll tell you their story. And later, a toddler in need of a liver transplant to survive. A mother's desperate plea ended up on a stranger's social media feed, and, well, she stepped in. We'll share the heartwarming miracle for this family as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Thursday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. We're closing out April, and it has been a very wet one.
Yeah, we're talking about closing April as one of the top 10 wettest on record for Anchorage and many areas of South Central. So hopefully you got outside yesterday and soaked up some of that sunshine. As evident this morning, as you step outside, we've got the return of those cloudier conditions, which is going to gradually bring more rain back across South Central. Now into the interior, you can see some sunshine to start off the morning, and we've got ongoing rain as you head out towards southeast, where heavy activity has been with us through the overnight hours. Now the rain showers will lighten up for Juneau, and you can see those cloudy skies again have made a return for everyone across South Central. Now out towards southeast, you can see those temperatures holding in the 40s. We've still got ongoing rain that's gripping a good portion of the panhandle, but here over the next, we'll call it through at least the first half of the day, we'll begin to see that rain coming to an end. The second half of the day will be far drier for a good portion of southeast. So that's what we're going to be watching for the panhandle as this rain gradually comes to an end as we head throughout the day. Meanwhile, as you head across South Central, we are beginning to see some increasing rainfall building in across coastal areas of South Central and eventually into Prince William Sound. Now, while inland locations do stay dry today, if you live out towards Kenai and south, out towards Homer, you will see some rain showers sticking around throughout the day. But inland locations, or at least the farther inland that you do live, we are going to hold on to drier conditions today with a gradual return to rain as we welcome in your Friday on into the weekend. And you can see widespread activity gripping areas of as you head out towards southwest Alaska from the Kuskokwim Delta out towards Bristol Bay and through parts of the Alaska Peninsula. So ample moisture to play with here over the next couple of days. And again, we are going to be watching what's going to be a wet end to the month. So April showers bringing more May showers as we continue to hold on to this fairly active weather pattern across a good portion of southern Alaska. So coming up in my full forecast, we'll be talking more about that April rain over southeast. While today is a break for South Central and the interior, we will see that rain increasing to close out the week as that storm over the Aleutians continues to churn northward. I'll have more on that in that 7-day coming up.
Anchorage police say they arrested one of their own for drunk driving in a patrol car. On March 9th, an off-duty APD officer told a sergeant she thought Officer Charles Bowser was driving impaired after he called and texted throughout the day and appeared upset. She also reported seeing him pull a patrol car and pulling into a driveway at a high speed. Police say they found Bowser slumped over outside his apartment and smelling of alcohol. Charging documents say officers also found alcohol throughout the patrol car, including on the passenger seat, in the trunk, and in the weapons rack. When he woke up, investigators say Bowser indicated he'd been drinking hard alcohol. Police say he was taken to the hospital where a test showed a blood alcohol level of about 0.293, which is more than 3 times the legal limit. APD says he's been placed on administrative leave pending investigations and is scheduled to appear in court May 18th. When it comes to DUIs in Alaska, the consequences are steep. According to the DMV, the average cost of your first DUI can run you more than $24,000. That number includes court costs that could total $5,000 or more, plus the price increase of insurance, your vehicle impound fee, and court fines. In fact, it would cost you less to take a cab halfway around the globe or 12,000 miles than it would to pay for one DUI. Wednesday, people gathered to honor the life of a 19-year-old. Kelly Hunt had been missing since January. Her body found last week. She was from Shaktoolik and was in Anchorage before going to college. People who loved her had been frustrated over a perceived lack of urgency from investigators. But for one night, it was all about honoring her life.
I just feel an overwhelming, it's just so much love. I could The community coming together like this is just beautiful to see.
After she was found, we felt we needed to bring the community together so that we can all sort of process and grieve all together.
I know she's just a beautiful person, and it's heartbreaking to know that this is the way her life ended. On behalf of Kelly's family, they asked me to just thank everyone for showing up. It's such a beautiful sight to see everyone.
I think the best way to heal as a community is to be together. As Native people, it's what we do. I just hope the community of Shaktoolik sees all of the love that is surrounding her in Anchorage. We're taking care of her story the best we can, and we just want them to feel the support from here.
And later today, UAA is hosting a walk to raise awareness about missing or murdered Indigenous peoples, or MMIP. But before it starts, there's a poster-making session from noon to 4 p.m. at the Indigenous and Rural Student Center in room 108. The MMIP walk starts at 5:30 p.m. at the Ansett building on campus. We have an update from the Matsu Borough about the Caswell Lakes animal cruelty case. The borough now says 23 dogs died at the property, not 25 as first reported. Officials say the kennel license from last year listed 28 dogs. Of those, 23 died. 2 were taken into custody. 2 died before this case, and 1 ran away. Willow resident Misty Reeder faces dozens of animal cruelty counts. The borough says enforcement-related investigations will continue into May. In Fairbanks, the Pearl Creek STEAM Charter School received final state approval to open next school year. The K-6 school will combine science, technology, engineering, arts, and math with hands-on projects and place-based learning. That's according to a statement released Wednesday by the school. Backers say family response was immediate, with hundreds already interested and more than 200 enrollment applications submitted within the first hour after the state gave its approval. The Matsu school bus strike may soon be over. A tentative agreement has been reached between Teamsters Local 959 and Durham School Services after nearly 2 months of talks. Union members will vote on final approval of the agreement today. If the deal is reached, bus service could return Monday. The Fairbanks North Star Borough wants input on plans to renovate Fifth Avenue Park in North Pole. The borough set aside more than $2 million for the project. The park sits next to North Pole Elementary and includes a wooded area and natural trail. Planners are looking at new paths and better connections to other parts of North Pole. Renovation work is expected next year after more public meetings. At a time when Anchorage schools are cutting music programs, 2 teenage musicians in Anchorage have accomplished a rare feat in their field. Joe Olga talked with them about their journey to the top.
Music is the universal language that kind of can represent all of life.
Itzhak Perlman, Joshua Heifetz, those, were like the best violinists to ever play.
The legacy of a legendary stage, spanning beyond classical.
They also have pop music, so I'm pretty sure the Beatles played at Carnegie Hall.
This summer, 17-year-old Andy Zong will join that legacy.
It was a big goal for me this year to make it into the National Youth Orchestra, and it was my senior year, so it was my last opportunity to do so.
Along with his 15-year-old brother Kevin, who's playing in the younger orchestra.
He got an NYO. I'm like, I kind of have to get an NYO to not one up him, kind of to get close to his level.
A level not many reach.
Is in order to get, be able to play at Carnegie Hall, you have to practice, practice, practice.
Something the pair are very familiar with.
Over a decade of practice that we put in has finally paid off.
Hundreds of hours on their auditions alone. In between his Mendelssohn, Kevin would record Andy's Tchaikovsky.
I remember pretty vividly, I don't know how I remember this, but it's like 2 a.m. and it's like I'm struggling to stay awake as I'm holding the camcorder for what seems like to be the 10th time of recording.
crediting their schooling.
Our orchestra teachers are so dedicated.
Their parents,
They've funded every time for our lessons. They've driven us everywhere, to our concerts, to our lessons, to the Saturday market every weekend.
and even each other.
A large part of my violin journey was playing with him, and so it's definitely sort of like it's really nice that both of us are going to be in New York.
From busking at markets or playing with the Anchorage Symphony
It was that ode to joy.
to one of the biggest stages in the world.
That what Beethoven wrote in that instance is something that words and, you can't simply use words to express that. It has to be through music.
Joe Alger, Alaska's news source.
Still ahead on today's Morning Edition, a man is on a mission and headed to Alaska, among other states, to accomplish it, delivering food in all 50 states, aiming to finish this year, calling it 50 for 250, his own celebration of the 250th birthday of the U.S. We'll share more coming up.
And we are going to see a return to some active and wet weather as we close out April and welcome in May. I'll have more on that top wettest April on record, or one of the top wettest. I'll have those details. But first, the sunrise, 5:52 in Anchorage, 4:39 in Utqiagvik. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back in. Aaron, you said earlier that it was the 10th wettest April on record, and yeah, it sure does feel like it.
Yeah, we are quickly sliding into right around that top 5 wettest. Of course, we're going to be watching what we see in terms of that rainfall activity as we head through the remainder of today, but most of that will stay confined to coastal areas, but we can't rule out a stray shower for inland locations. Now, January was certainly a wet month as we ended the month with well over 2 inches above average. February and March, we remained fairly dry, and then as we welcomed in April, we have seen that uptick in precip. We're currently sitting at the 3rd wettest start to a year on record with nearly 5.5 inches of liquid precip. But when we look at April as a whole for this month, we're right on par with what we saw last year. You can see last year was the 5th wettest at 1.48 inches, and we are right at number 6. Now, a typical April ends in Anchorage right around 0.43 inches of precip. And you can see we've seen nearly an inch more than that. And we are going to continue to watch that active wet weather staying with us as we close out April and welcome in May. There's our area of low pressure that brought us the rain earlier this week. That continues to fizzle out. Our focus now is on this low that's building into the Aleutians. It's already bringing widespread rain to areas of the eastern Aleutians, the Alaska Peninsula, and then we've got a rain-snow mix pushing through southwest Alaska. And we're also beginning to see some of that rain building in across Kodiak as well as coastal areas of South Central. So this is the wet weather pattern that we're going to see to close out this month and welcome in next month. Of course, for South Central, or at least inland areas, we'll see our better chance for rain arriving through the day Friday and then carrying us into the weekend and into Monday of next week. Of course, we'll continue to favor the heaviest rainfall for coastal areas, particularly as you head through Prince William Sound, where we will watch for that potential for up to 5 inches of rain accumulation here over the next couple of days. So rain for the first part of your Thursday will gradually pull off towards the east and eventually take over a good portion of the coastal areas. You can see widespread rain out towards Kodiak towards the afternoon hours. And then western parts of the Kenai, you may see a stray shower or two as we head throughout the day, but largely expecting inland locations to stay dry as we are up under that rain shadow until we head into the overnight hours on into Friday. You can see that moisture beginning to lift north through the Cook Inlet region. So as we head through tomorrow evening, we will see that better chance for rain building into inland areas of South Central. That will carry us into the weekend. We'll see some dry time here and there as we welcome in the weekend, much like we've seen with each passing system, and then more widespread rain builds in as we welcome in next week. And like we've typically seen, heaviest rainfall will stay confined to coastal areas as well as out towards Kodiak, where we're going to see widespread rainfall as well as some gusty conditions sticking around. Today may actually favor some winds of about 20 to 40 miles per hour across South Central. So rain builds into coastal areas with inland locations seeing that rain arriving as we welcome in the weekend. So again, about 1 to 5 inches of rainfall as you head out towards coastal areas. And then as you head inland, we'll see far less activity, but the potential for up to about ½ an inch does look possible as we welcome in the weekend and early next week. So be prepared for another wet stretch of weather to stay with us. And again, most of that is going to stay confined to coastal areas, inland locations, cloudier skies with some of those occasional periodic rain showers with highs in the mid to upper 40s.
For one man on the autism spectrum, the road has become more than a way to travel. It's become a way to inspire. He's looking to make a trip to Alaska from Florida as part of a cross-country challenge. Jace Bertrand has the story.
I really enjoy traveling, and I was trying to look for something to do that I can do in all 50 states. I really wanted to go to all 50 states.
The idea came to Mike DeMauro while he was sitting at a traffic light in New Jersey.
Turned on the app, went online just for giggles. Next thing I know, I had delivery in New Jersey. So I was like, this could be something game changer.
After learning that you could deliver for Uber Eats no matter what state you're in, DeMauro says he came up with a plan to deliver for Uber Eats in all 50 states.
I'm at 38 plus DC right now, trying to get the remaining 12 done this year because it's America's 250th anniversary. So I'm calling this 50 for 250.
That's a lot of ground to cover, but DeMauro says he's already checked off 38 states and Washington, D.C.
So I still have Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, Utah, Colorado, Alaska, and Hawaii.
DeMauro is on the autism spectrum and says he wants to use his mission to help inspire others.
There are so many people in this world with autism that cannot drive. And I have been driving for almost 25 years. And I got my diagnosis of autism after learning how to drive. So I'm trying to teach people that are on the autism spectrum the ability to drive, to give them pointers and all that.
DeMauro is planning on flying to Alaska and renting a car in order to complete his deliveries in the last frontier. A unique road trip that allows him to interact with people all over the country.
It's been a pleasure actually doing the Uber Eats deliveries because the fact is that I get to tell people, hey, I'm from Florida, or I'm delivering this from Florida, or I'm delivering this from Orlando.
Jace Bertrand, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting. Available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.